Greetings, Earthlings! My name is Zero Jake and welcome back to Space Engineers. So, for the last few episodes we've been creating the dropship, which is currently off camera. I've done some, modifications to it so that it will work better. Yeah, the bug that happened last episode where I couldn't actually land has now, well, it was kind of just need to restart the game and then that will work. So that's all fine. So you can see over here we've got a nav beacon called construction site, and over there we've got the fleet location, which I believe we can still see the fleet. Like, if you look very, very closely, there are pixels that are changing. It's kind of weird. They might still be loaded? Who knows? Who knows? Except me. But yeah, so because we were having problems with streaming due to the amount of, CPU that the game was draining with the amount of ships that we were using, I've decided to move all of the essential ships that we need in order to build things over to an area that's about 20 kilometers away. So it will be out of rendering, and therefore, we have a smoother time getting things done. So we've got the mobile refinery, which we need to get resources, and we've got the shipyard in order to build things, and I'm currently stocked up on quite a bit of oxygen. If that runs out, then I'll just have to, run back to the capital ship, which is currently at the fleet, and do things. The only two ships that are at the fleet are the capital ship and the live ship, so that's fine. However, we're going to be adding one more ship to the fleet, and at the same time getting rid of one. We are now creating an upgraded mobile refinery, as in a mobile refinery that is actually, that looks nice instead of looking like a house with a garage, because essentially that's what this looks like. A house, yeah, house bit, second floor bit with a garage down here. You may call it something else other than a garage, but I call it that. Anyway, so what we need to do, yeah. So I've got a basic hull design over here. Noting that I don't have any of the other ships to learn from at present. We're not doing any of the nose and the rear today. What we're going to do is we're basically going to plan out how this thing's going to look. Yeah, so first of all I need to get into this, because this is going to be all important. Now, the constructor ship, the collector ship rather, is not going to change. By the way, on the hull of the shipyard, you can see down there, down here, something purpley. That's the constructor Mark II. That's basically there so that I can speed up construction times, because waiting for nano factories to do everything, well, it is tiresome doing nothing, and so I decided to go and help out creation of things. So what we need is two of these collectors, two of these collector Mark IIs, yeah, to be stored inside this. And what I've decided to do is, on the front end we basically have like a bay in which we have these two, and then they fly out, so to speak, if that makes any sense whatsoever, which it probably does. However, because we don't have enough height or width in order to sustain this, we need to increase that. So we've got a width of 5, yeah, width of 5, remember that. Then we've got a gap of 1, and then we've got another width of 5, so that's 11 minimum. I know, 13 minimum, because we also need another block on the other hand side for each side, so that's 13 minimum, and I believe that's the actual length of this. Give me a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes. So basically, we need to get rid of quite a bit. However, we only need to get rid of half of it, because the top half is going to be fine. So from which is the center? I have forgotten which is the center. Ah, there's the center. Okay, so we can leave this guy alone, yeah, and then we basically want to get rid of this. Now, I need to think this over a bit first before I do something stupid, which is basically add these first, you fool, because if you detach the entire vessel, how am I going to build it? Sorry, I was just talking with myself there because I saw in the events to come that I would accidentally detach the entire ship that I've been working on and have to get rid of it and then rebuild it, and then that's just going to be painful. Anyway, so that's basically the section that we're cutting out. So that's the width. Essentially what we need is, you know, this extending. So what we want is we want this, go like that, and then get these blocks and go down. Yeah? And do the other side. Now, the next question is, how far down do I need to go? And so what I really need is I need a gap at the top, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. And then I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? So gap at top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the gap at the top is fine because, you know, this is going to be quite close cutting due to, you know, 5 blocks, and we also have to be closer than a block to the top so that we can actually dock. So we can seal this off. So get this, flippy flippy, flippity flip, and then go around this way. And this is essentially the area in which we need our lovely everything. So just give me a second to fill the rest of this in. Now, of course, we can make this look better. We will make this look better. It's just, you know, a plan for what's going to happen. So that's kind of, you know, the extent at which this is needed. And this will go all the way out to the front, and then we'll have doors that open and close, and all, well, maybe not open and close, but you get the point. Alternatively, we could just like not have this, and then just have them like sitting there. I think that might be a better idea, actually. Yes, in hindsight, that is a better idea. For reasons of, you know, it'll be too much armoring and it'll look silly and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I'll keep that here just to say, you know, design things so that I can use it. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to say, hey everybody, we've got a thing for you to use. So we want to go up like this. We want to go to the midsection. Midsection goes across. Okay, so we have this, yeah? And then what we're going to do is we're going to extend it this way. Is that right? Yeah, sure. This is basically to show off how this thing will look. Noting that, you know, everything is subject to change, but yeah. Okay, so this is the platform under which we'll have the collector, and then what we want to do is we want to get the collector, we want to get inside. Then we want to dock. Noting that we can, you know, cut back, and actually I'm probably going to do that. So give me a second. We need to cut back on here, which is going to be, you know, endless amounts of fun. Oh, right, I'm running out of inventory space. Because when are you never running out of inventory space? That's the real question of life. When can you tell that you're about to run out of inventory space without looking at your inventory space? Questions that define life by Zero Jake. Philosopher extraordinaire. Hang on, what? No. Right, so let's just get rid of all of this. Good. So now we can get in here. And then you can see, ooh, we've got a lot more room, which is very nice. Also, I probably need to get rid of that side bit later, but for now, this will work. And then we need to rotate a bit. Yeah, that should work. Go up. and lock. Right. So basically, that's where we want it. That's where we want our ship parked. And so what I need to do now is I need to create armorings that go around it, essentially. So if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now we have a block here. So what we can do is we can move this on there. No, that won't work. Won't work. Since what we've got is we've got 2 of these, so we've got, well, technically we've got 1, but 2 later. So what we want, so there'll be another one on this side, so we can't really encroach on here. So that means we're going to need another, you know, space here. Interesting. But you may be thinking to yourself, oh, but Jake, you've got all of this space because you're not, you know, building a shell around it. That's true, but I kind of want to build some kind of armoring around it, otherwise it just looks stupid. Right, so if we go some way like this, something. Right, let's just do regular armor blocks because that's going to be much easier for me. So if we do that, and then we go down, yeah. Say we go down 2, yeah? Or like that much. Just let me get rid of this, place the slope, and then down 1, and then round. Essentially, that's what we want. Okay? I wonder if I want to increase it by another 1. Yeah, let's stop mucking around here. Let's get this all the way along. All the way along. Oh, I didn't mean to place you. And then we want this guy. So do I want it like that, or do I want it 2 down and then the slope? Just bear with me. I'm currently calculating. So do I want it like that? Yeah. Which looks kind of nice. Yeah, you know, looks kind of nice. Ish. Well, I would say ish, but that's because I'm building it. Give me a second. Right. So we can have this design. Or we can go down one more. So we get rid of all of these. Then we place another row of these. And then I've got a brilliant idea. Instead of using the regular slopes, we use these. Just like 1 layer, and that's fine. 1 layer, all needed. We don't need to do the full Monty. But something like that. And noting that on top of here we'll have the bridge, you know, the bridge doing regular things, and we'll have some kind of... I don't know what this is going to look like in the end, but it's going to look different. Different is the correct word to use. Okay, good. So I've got that. So I'll be back in a second once I've duplicated the design onto the other side. Okay, we are back. So, what I've done is I've duplicated the design, and then I've started working on the top section where the bridge is going to be, so that, you know, I can get an idea of what it's going to look like at the end, because currently, well, at the time of building, it just looks absolutely horrible. So if we... Sorry, I'm just thinking aloud here, because that's what I do. We want to make this, you know, look, you know, part of the ship. So what we can do is we can do that, and then we can start drawing it backwards, I guess, so that it doesn't look so, you know, out there, I guess is the correct, well, it's not the correct word, but you get the point. if you get the point, then, you know, it's actually the correct word. So what am I talking about? Anyway, more steel plate for the steel plate god. Anyway. Right, so here is going to be the end of, you know, where the cockpit is. Or the bridge, rather. It's going to be, like, a lot more, you know, angular than the rest of the rounded capital ships, but yes. So if we do that, then we do something like this. Then we do something like this. And then, around here, and then we do, if we get these guys, flip them around, this guy, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Right, okay, so here's the thing. I need to kind of get rid of this sloped bit. Now the question is, how do I make that look nice? You know, contrary to what I usually do, we are starting with the top section, because of course we are. Right, so if we do that, and then we do that. Yeah, I know I'm low on energy. I don't give a damn either. So if we do that, then that might look better, maybe. If we do that, and then you've got that. So what we can do is we can get this. Sadly, we don't have a converter, I don't think. Thank you. Right. We need a conversion block between, you know, regular sloped and then half sloped. Even though I don't think I've got one installed, which would be a pain. Yeah, and these guys aren't the help either. This bunch isn't helping me much. So we've got a regular to a thing. We've got a thing to a thing. Right, so like this, yeah. If I get this out to show you, if we get this, yeah. So we want something like this, yeah. But you know, in reverse. So going from this side to this side, yeah. So we need to find that, if at all possible. If there is one, which there probably isn't. How many of you are there? Right. We'll deal with that later. Well, we can just get rid of these, can't we? And then flip over to this, get a regular slope. Call that a placeholder until I find a way to do this properly. But yeah, do that, and then that should look a lot better, he says. Right. Well, that'll do, I guess. Right, so now that we've got that, you know, that looking a bit nicer than it was, to be honest, we now need to deal with the back section here. Hang on, if we do this, it is a theory. What if we do something like this in order to get, you know, things working as I would like it? Do this, and then we get rid of this guy. Now we basically have, no, not you. So I will need you later. Place these guys here. Placey, placey, place. And then we get a slope. No, I don't want to commit suicide. What? Why would I ever want... Oh, actually, no. There are reasons in the game to want to commit suicide, but, you know, it's not that helpful right now. It's backspace, by the way, if you want to know what that is. So if we do that, then that will look better. Yeah? Better. No, I'm British. I will pronounce things correctly. Better. There we go. Right, so if we do that, and then what we do is we need these guys here. Actually, we're probably going to need to get rid of this. Yeah, critical levels, I don't care. You know, that can be dealt with later. Right, so if we have this, what we can do is we can then flip this around to something of this magnitude. We will not be able to repel the firepower of that magnitude. Blah 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 blah. It's a trap. Right, so if we do that, and then what we want is we want you, and then we want you, and then we want you. How's that look? It works. Wow, this may be the easiest design I've done. Well, possibly because I'm using, you know, a design that I've already built. So, yeah, no points received in that end. Right, so place that. No. That doesn't work. Does it? You sure about that? Place here. No, there's a flipper, rotate thing. My, that's gonna look interesting. But you know the alternative to doing that? You know, instead of having this dent here, which is, you know, bad for armoring, even though the ship shouldn't get in combat, none of my ships except the combat ships should get in combat. I'm just, you know, planning for the worst. If we do that, and then what we want is we want Mr. Slopey Dude. Place here. Place. Does that look like it works? Because I have no goddamn clue. I guess we could pull it off. Yeah. I mean, there's no reason why we wouldn't be able to. I guess. So what we need to do now is we just need these guys along here. Then we need to seal it off at the back. Oh, and here's a question. Would this be... Yeah, that could work. Could work very, very well indeed. Sorry, I'm just thinking to myself. Basically, yeah, because we've got... The ground level is basically the third block down from the ceiling. I've got no energy. That's fine, I'll just pop in here for a second. Right, I'll flip around so that you can see what I'm talking about. So, the ground level, the floor on which you walk on regularly is the bottom, is the third down from the ceiling, and therefore between third and fourth is where the doors to the collectors will appear. You know, like that. Like it. Oh no, I need to turn it on in order to recharge my batteries, don't I? Yes, because that would be a sensible idea. So yeah, we can easily fit doors in the bottom layer, which is very, very nice. The only thing I need to do is I need to, you know, seal this off so that it looks nice and all that kind of stuff, because making things look nice, if your ship looks terrible, no one's ever going to use it. That's the point. That's the point that I'm trying to make. If your ship looks terrible, no one will use it. Not even you. Well, maybe you, but, you know, that really depends on things. Right, how can we improve this? Can we do something like this? No, that's not going to work. I don't know what you're trying to do here with that, Jake, but it's not going to work. How about the other way around? Like this. Yeah, get me point. That's not going to work either. Right, then I guess for now I'll be stuck with these slopes then. Well, isn't that nice? Right, so yeah, basically I need to seal off the rest of this. Because I'm such a nice guy, I'm going to do it on camera so that you can see all of the tedious work that I put into the builds that I do. Well, it's not that much work, I guess. It's kind of therapeutic, in fact, the, you know, building things in a, you know, sandbox kind of thing. Kind of therapeutic. You just get relaxed. It's something for you to focus on. Anyway, enough talking about that. Let's continue sealing this off. Basically, that seals off the bottom floor. Yeah. Which leaves the top floor for whatever. So back here, yeah, so we're talking about bigger designs than the front section. Well, no. First of all, we're going to talk about the front section. So underneath, the bay in which the collectors are. On the top, the bridge. And maybe some, you know, rooms and things like that, because the bridge doesn't need to be that spectacular. And then back here, yeah, we've got refineries, a lot of refineries, cargo bays, some assemblers, even more stuff, even more. And since we don't need, you know, bays at the back in order to have ships docked because we've got them at the front, then we can also have even more stuff where the engine section is. So at the rear, we're going to have all of the reactors and gyroscopes and things like that that we need. This should, keyword there, should look nice. If it doesn't, then you know who to blame. Not me. Blame my brother, because for some reason he is influencing this for no reason whatsoever. Anyway, so that will be all for now. I've got, you know, a tiny bit of work to do. I'll duplicate the design onto the other side. I'll brainstorm a few ideas, and then we'll be back next episode to either do more of the front, or we'll start, you know, doing the rear section, and then we can start doing the interior. Because the interior is going to be easy, because all I need to do is just place, you know, refineries everywhere. Duh. And once we've finished this, once we've finished it in like a few episodes' time, then we will be able to get rid of this monstrosity. What kind of pronunciation is that? Monstrosity of a mobile refinery that we currently have. It will be committed to the graveyard of the shipyard's stomach. Yeah. And then, you know, after we've done that, then maybe I'll have the carrier design finished, which we're doing in our in live streams, and by we I mean with Amasol, who's helping me with that. But yeah, well, and you can join in if you want to, by the way. Just don't screw anything up. But yeah, so once we get the carrier done, then we can replace the shipyard with the carrier, which is going to be massive and may also kill my computer. But that is a story for a later date. Until then, my name has been Zero Jake. End transmission.